ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
No guessing, just catching. New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
It's Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine with your weekly video fishing forecast as we head into the Labor Day weekend, which of course some folks call this the end of summer. That's purely from a meteorological perspective based on a 12-month calendar. From an astronomical point of view, summer doesn't officially end until September 22nd. So, after this 3-day holiday weekend, even without all the guards and the badge checkers and the hassles at the beach, after this weekend, we'll still have 3 weeks of what we've often called local summer for all to enjoy at the Jersey Shore. So I would tell you that bait is stacking up at this point, finger mullet and peanut bunker in the creeks and the canals. Water temperatures cooling off a bit with several cooler nights. And of course, that passing storm that we talked about last weekend, which was really much ado about nothing. That passing glance of Erin, it turned waters over quite a bit, and most folks have realized that, especially out front. But back to the water temperatures, because we talked a little bit about this last week. The crew at Fisherman's headquarters in Ship Bottom, they shared this image to start the week with Barnegat Bay water temperatures dropping back down to around 70 degrees as of last Friday. Now, as I mentioned in our weekly video fishing forecast last week, we were looking at some of the near-shore water temperatures before the passing of Hurricane Erin. Another summary snapshot from that August 16th and August 20th snapshot that we did last week, but finally here's Wednesday, the 27th, showing how things turned over in the past week. And that's, of course, thanks to the folks at Rutgers University and the surface temperatures that they provide at the Rutgers Cool Room. Now, out of Atlantic City, Wednesday morning, with about 3 hours left on the incoming tide, air temperatures were around 66 degrees. That's 8 a.m. Water temperatures about 73 degrees out front. Now, I happen to be down in the AC area earlier in the week, Pleasantville. Actually, I was invited by the folks at Rutgers University and the International Game Fish Association, IGFA. They had a program, group of youngsters for their Reel Into Fishing program. 3 separate events over the last several weeks in Ocean County, Burlington County, and finally Atlantic County on Tuesday. Some of these kids will be fishing for the very first time this week aboard the Avalon Lady, talking about fish tagging, actually. Dr. Doug Zemeckis from Rutgers showing these kids that for the Fluke that they're going to release from the Avalon Lady, they'll be using tags from the American Littoral Society. Now, I bring this up in part because IGFA's Nick DeGennaro was in town. He's been in town for most of August from IGFA down in Florida, but he sneaked out aboard Dad's High Flyer in Barnegat Bay after the passing storm. I believe he was out on Sunday. Said it was kind of turned over quite a bit, but he did say brother Max in the back had a 22-inch fluke. So I do expect we're going to see more catches in the backwaters with cooler waters. And again, the amount of bait that's stacked up there. I hope those kids that are fishing in Avalon this week with IGFA and Rutgers are having a great time as we speak right now. Now, this video comes by way of Dr. Adam Aguiar from Stockton University. It was a clip that he shot over this past storm weekend in the backwaters, what appears to be spearing bay anchovies, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of bait moving around there and a lot of tide and current through the weekend. So as things clean up, I kind of think things are going to really change back there. I did hear from Bob Misak, a friend of mine from Forked River, on Wednesday morning. He sent a picture of Tommy Santaguida Jr. from Surf City Bait and Tackle. He was out with Mark Finelli of Laura Sport Fishing, drifting live spot in Barnegat Inlet, near the inlet, inside the inlet. That area, though, drifting live spot this week had a 9.6-pound fluke. So there it stands to reason what we have been talking about in terms of possibilities of those fluke summer flounder that leave the shallower waters, leave the bays and estuaries, heading into deeper water where it's cooler, But on a storm system like this, and as waters in the back start to cool off, there's plenty of bait back there. Maybe some of these summer flounder move up front. Now, I wanted to test that theory. Talk to Greg Hewitt on the Big Mohawk on Wednesday. He was out in those stiff northwest winds. They were just setting up. He did say that by Tuesday, I don't think they sailed on Monday, the Big Mohawk was out on Tuesday, tough bite. He said it was a little bit better, but the divers that he spoke to over the first course of this week said the visibility down below was still very, very low, very difficult, very murky. It's tough fluking out there after the blow. Now that said, Greg said there's definitely going to be what he believes another shot on the wrecks, reefs, and snags with these summer flounders. So hopefully they're out there. Maybe they're just not biting. Maybe some more of those fish are in the back bays or kind of came back for a period of time. But Greg said definitely he does believe that we're going to get another good shot over the next week or two. In fact, the Big Mohawk will continue to fluke until September 14th. And then Greg, like many boats, will be going into dry dock for a period of time to get all set up for when Black Sea Bass reopens on October 1st. Going down to South Jersey, I also talked to Captain Bob Cope, full ahead sport fishing out of Cape May. He was actually out on Saturday, the nut job, but he had a total of a dozen keepers on Tuesday, 60 fluke total, but a dozen keepers, mostly on the snags. He said it took him on Tuesday half the day to find them where they're set, but he's been rooting around the 20 fathom mark of late. That's shocking. But again, a lot of those guys in South Jersey are heading deeper. And Bob said, I just keep going until I find clearer water. That's what he did immediately after the storm. Like I said, he was actually out on Saturday. Look at those swells. Big ground swell. He couldn't even see that freighter in the back. But I did talk to Bob about some of those closer inshore reefs and wrecks. Wildwood Reef, Cape May, the old grounds. Bob said he's hoping that those closer to shore reefs will start to produce this weekend. Kopi said the fluke were biting aggressively on Tuesday. So we shall see. So what does a passing storm like Erin last week mean for fishing this week? Well, we've talked about that in last week's video. We opened it up this week, but in Jenni Ackerman's Open Boat, it's a full 10-minute feature that premieres this Sunday. Jenni conducted a little damage control, looking at how Hurricane Erin affected the fishery. And this week she's going to explore the rivers and bays live lining spot to see what's biting now that Erin's gone by.
Stay tuned for this week's latest open boat adventure with Jenni Ackerman. From tackling new lures, hooking into the catch of the day, or learning something new about a species. Tune in every Sunday at 6 p.m. for Jenni's latest open boat episode. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, catch 'em up.
Introducing the Yak Attack Sandrig Surf Cart, the ultimate beach hauler for serious anglers. Glide effortlessly over soft sand with wide balloon wheels and lightweight, corrosion-resistant construction that's completely customizable with options. Whether it's rods, coolers, or tackle, haul it all with ease. Built by surf fishermen and engineered by Yak Attack.
In the famed waters of Panama awaits a fishing experience like no other. Tropic Star Lodge welcomes anglers to get in on world-famous fishing action. Plan your perfect trip today. Tropic Star Lodge, the ultimate in fishing adventures for more than 60 years.
So the September edition of the Fisherman magazine is out. It's on newsstands and tackle shops. By the time you're watching this on Thursday, hopefully you subscribers will have received your copy sometime Wednesday or Thursday. I have not gotten mine yet. I'll hold up my magazine as soon as I get it. Back Bay Striper on the cover, a photo by Lee Wakefield. Yes, it's that time, transition time. As stripers turn on out back on all that bait, the waters are getting cool, like I said, and before that migratory run hits us sometime late September, early October. Optimism says late September. We shall see. Now, this month's lineup in the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition includes a look at New Jersey salmon with Bruce Litton, kayak fishing for sillyfish, hardtails by Scott Thomas and David Urell. It's perfect for those of you who are looking to score in our coastal kayak clash. Nicholas Simioli takes a look at changing surf conditions from season to season. Jenni Ackerman spotlights the Mammoth Car Toppers, a historic legendary group. It's pretty cool. It's going back in history, looking at some of those car toppers that used to launch along the beach. I doubt many towns would let you do this anymore. And of course, there on page 30 of your New Jersey Delaware Bay edition, your backcountry bass spotlight with Captain Scott Newhall. Time to Minn Kota your way along those sod banks in search of stripers on the sedges, in the creek mouths, and feeding on peanut bunker and finger mullet. Also, be sure to turn to page 3, my editor's log. Kind of details where we stand on that upcoming ASMFC striped bass discussion. I'm not taking positions on this, just trying to share with you some of the items that came out of that August meeting and what we can expect to see late September, early October when those public hearings start. Of course, this is just about half of what you'll find in the September edition, because you'll also have that glossy lineup as well.
The September glossy edition of the Fisherman magazine is out now. Dave Anderson's article, Day Trading, shares the mindset you need for daytime surf casting. Topwater yellowfin action is full of surface explosions and adrenaline, and Captain John Raguzzo shares his experience of plugging up tuna. There are lots of grip options when you're building a custom rod, and Matt Broderick has a great read on which one may be right for you. Curious about the history of artificials? John Tiedemann has the fascinating evolution from the beginning. Great note-keeping is the key to striped bass success, and good doctors like Adam Aguiar know the importance of detailed records. To get all this and more, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. When you subscribe, you get 12 glossy print editions, 26 digital editions to your inbox, this past weekend's reports, full access to the website, and more. As a subscriber, you can also be part of the Dreamboat Challenge and win a new Steigercraft powered by Yamaha, and compete for a rigged-out kayak from Yak Attack. Subscribe now.
I mentioned the Coastal Kayak Clash before. This is the time when Jersey subscribers can get in on those false albacore, Spanish mackerel, and bonita, and get yourself on the leaderboard for a prize. For the full leaderboard update in the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge and your Coastal Kayak Clash, let's head back to our virtual studio.
Here is the latest update for the Dreamboat Challenge. We have Long Island subscriber from East Islip, New York, Robert D. Piero, placing 7th with a 2.68-pound sea robin weighed in at Capri Bait and Tackle. The leaderboard stands at first place with Rashawn Williams with 17 points. Second place, Thomas Luciano at 16 points. And third place with Jeffrey Harrison at 15 points. Make sure you read all the rules and fill out the forms completely if you're going to enter the Dreamboat Challenge. Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dreamboat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is one fish on the board to win a great prize, so however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com. There were no new entries in the Coastal Kayak Clash. Dustin Stevens is in first with 9 points, Rotha Nong has 6 points, and Tom Howard has 5 points. Hey kayakers, the Fisherman's Coastal Kayak Clash contest is back. Win this fully outfitted Hobie Mirage Lynx kayak from Yak Attack along with other great prizes. Catch and release as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. To enter, you must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, fish from a kayak, and document your catch. Many chances to win great prizes, so get out there on the water now and fish hard. To be part of the action, you must be a subscriber and register at thefisherman.com.
Kind of alluded to this before, but sea bass in New Jersey will come to a close after Sunday, August 31st. That one fish bag limit will disappear for September, with the fall into winter fishery kicking off again this year on October 1st. It starts off with that 10 fish bag limit for the Halloween month. Then it goes up to 15 fish in November and December. Porgy, on the other hand, reopens in the Garden State as of Labor Day, Monday, September 1st. The return of the 30 fish bag limit and a 10-inch size limit through the rest of 2025 and the first part of 2026. And that's good news for a lot of the folks up in North Jersey in particular. As you get down south into lower South Jersey, into Delaware, the porgy get a lot smaller. But certainly on some of those rocky pieces of structure in the New York Bight, the porgy action is usually pretty good. And in many ways, that's the fishery that carries us through now in January and February. Boats like the Big Jamaica heading offshore. It's not just tog in January and February, but we also have those porgies as well. Also, cod will reopen again on September 1st. And the word I have from going to the last New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meeting, this fall could be our very last chance, our very last shot at getting into this iconic fishery. Things are not looking good with cod, and we may be seeing a closure after this fall for a very, very long time. We're going to find out more information about that next Thursday when the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meets at 5 p.m. September 4th, Stafford Township Firehouse. I do expect ongoing discussions on fluke, sea bass, porgy, cod, and striped bass at that meeting next week. Did I mention bluefish? Because we do have some bag limit increases on the horizon. We'll learn more about that in the next couple of weeks. Don't forget, tog is in play right now at the Jersey Shore. You've got that one fish bag limit in a 15-inch size. And I mentioned a lot last week of that potential for sheepshead as well. One of the ideas, of course, it was good when you had Erin passing by and the ocean waters were so treacherous. The surf was a bit snotty and the inlets weren't good. So a lot of folks in Cape May and Atlantic County got in the in the backwaters going for that tog one fish bag limit and of course some sheepshead. But in the past week, I've been hearing something that I've waited a long time to hear about. Folks targeting and catching sheepshead in the northern half of the Garden State. Walt Fisher let me know last week, right before the storm, that he found one somewhere around the Raritan Bay complex. Walt fishes out of Staten Island. And you know there's plenty of inshore structure up there with all those old lighthouses and the old rocky structure. Hoffman, Swinburne Island, of course. I don't know where Walt was. But Walt's been trying to get himself a sheepshead on the Raritan Bay in that area, and he got one. After the storm, Phil at the Tackle Box in Hazlitt had a couple of Raritan Bay sheepshead reported on Tackle Box green crabs and tog jigs. One for @NJ Hooked Up, and then another one for Mark Azella soon after. As Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. In a sense, with fishing, it's the same. They're not there unless you go find one. Weather-wise, heading into this Labor Day weekend, it appears to be nothing but sun. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Lows in the low 60s, even upper 50s along the Jersey Shore at night. Highs only in the 70s, mid to upper 70s. And according to NOAA Marine Weather, lighter winds in the forecast, inshore waters Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So yeah, the inshore forecast looks good. Light seas, could be time to go out and hunt for those speedsters, those hardtails, those Spanish mackerel, the bonita, and the false albacore. And again, as I alluded to earlier, that hopefully things have settled down or will have settled down heading into this weekend from that storm. We'll have some cleaner water and better opportunities for fluke in the deep water on those wrecks. Offshore, Saturday and Sunday, as of this midweek offshore forecast from NOAA Marine Weather, from the Hudson to Baltimore looks terrific. There's supposed to be another weather system brewing for us next week, but let's just get through this holiday weekend before I give you any more doom and gloom. This weekend looks terrific. Offshore, inshore, along the beaches, and in the back bays as well. Now, George Shower, aka our Pocono Outdoors Guy, he's back at Dunkelberger's in East Stroudsburg this week for a rundown on the freshwater options in the New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania region.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, I think we're in for a couple of really good days of fishing with the upcoming weekend. I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday all look pretty good if you want to get out and wet a line. A couple of guys are checking in. There's some good fishing around the area, so I'm really looking optimistic for a couple of days of great fishing. Dave and Bob were out finding some stripers on Beltsville. Where else, right? They were out with guide Josh Taylor on Fish Fever Guide Service. They actually went out looking for bass and whatnot, but it turned into a striper trip because the striper bite was just too good to pass up. So great work there, Dave and Bob. Good work on Beltsville. Delaware River guide Tim Keeper also checked in. Recently, he's out working a lot of Ned rigs, getting in some really good smallmouth. He put those stripers away for a little bit and decided to get on some of these bronze backs. Some really good fishing, guys. And if you've never heard of the Ned rig, that's a little short little worm from Z-Man they put out on a mushroom head. That's a real little finesse bait you want to get down, especially working some of those areas where those smallmouth are hiding. Some real good tactics there if you want to get some great fishing this weekend. Also, Eric Fissler checked in. He was also out in the Delaware River. Now, he's been fishing at nighttime, getting a few of these stripers as well. He said the bite's been real good, getting him on the mix of either live bait, topwater, and also some swim baits. So quite a few options there if you still want to get some stripers on the Delaware. Also, in other news, guys, the Catfish tournament on the Delaware, the Catfish Kings tournament, went off without a hitch. Big thanks to Laura Yates for her great work in organizing that tournament. I'm hoping Laura puts that again next year because it was a real success with over 100 anglers out working for some top prizes of cash and gifts. First place, we had David Shell. He was out with a 33.9 pound flathead. Second place was Shane Reeder with a 29.75 flathead. And third place, Duke Frins with a 26.8 pound flathead as well. Guys, there's some great flathead fishing on the Delaware. It's something I'm looking to get out and do myself. Been fishing catfish my whole life, but got to get my hands around one of those flatheads. Some good fishing, guys. I hope you get out during this holiday weekend. At least wet a line in between the barbecue, but get out and have fun. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
28th Shoretown Ballpark, Jersey, BoatExpo.com.
Life is better with a boat.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
National news headlines this week. The story was picked up on the Newswire nationally. It was a tragedy out of Little Egg Harbor Bay behind Holgate on LBI. Now, according to New Jersey State Police Sergeant Jeffrey LeBron, 56-year-old Carl Chen of Princeton was killed on Sunday morning when the 27-foot robalo he was on struck a large wake, causing both he and the captain, the owner of the vessel, to be ejected from the boat. That was near ICW marker 116 behind Beach Haven, Holgate. That is Little Egg Harbor Bay, not Barnegat Bay. With no one at the helm of that center console, the robalo just continued to circle, eventually striking Dr. Chen. Sergeant LeBron said the other occupant sustained only minor injuries. My prayers to the Chen family and friends. Carl was a hardcore fisherman. He's a Facebook friend of mine. Sent some photos here and there that we used periodically in our weekly video. My condolences to the family and friends on this tragic loss. Dr. Chen was a well-regarded doctor in the East Brunswick area. I believe that's where his practice was. Just really a terrific guy. It's just one of those terrible, terrible tragedies that happens. Now, of course, in the waning moments after this tragedy on Sunday, a lot of armchair captains on social media offered their should-haves and would-haves. That said, the owner of the boat apparently, who suffered, like I said, only minor injuries of anything at all, but God, my prayers are with you too. This is something terrible you got to deal with. But he told NBC reporter Ted Greenberg that there was a wireless engine cutoff switch that he had that just did not engage for one reason or another. Now, I have a tethered kill switch on my center console that shuts off my Suzuki 140 in such a situation, but I will tell you this, I've got to admit it, that thing's not going to work, the tethered version, unless it's tethered to my person. there's a lot of times where I run my little center console where I don't have that thing engaged. I need to rethink that. And I think we all should. As a reminder too, it's not just a matter of something we should do. Really, it's a matter of something we have to do. As of April 2021, federal law requires the operator of any motorized boat with 3 or more horsepower that is less than 26 feet in length with an installed engine cutoff switch, the ECOS, E-C-O-S. They have to use that ECOS link, and it's usually a coiled bungee cord or a lanyard that's clipped onto the operator's person. I would clip it onto my belt, and then it goes to a kill switch on my, my ignition. So if I actually become disengaged from that, it's going to shut off the engine. Again, this wouldn't have mattered necessarily in Dr. Chen's situation because they had apparently a wireless cutoff switch that just didn't work for whatever reason. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Here in New Jersey, the state police boating manual states the operator of any vessel equipped with a lanyard cutoff switch shall wear the safety switch lanyard at all times when the vessel is in operation. So if you have the kill switch installed, you do have to use it. Now that Robalo is 27 feet. The Coast Guard regulations are 26 feet and under. But what they're saying is any of these new boats, new outboards that you buy that has that ECOS, that tethered kill switch, if it's got it, you've got to use it. And I'm going to do my very best to adhere to the law and do this, because if we can take one message away from this tragedy, is something of a learning experience. I have more sad news to report this week, and this is something I had to share till the end of the report because I didn't know if I could really continue after I told you this. Tom Grumpy Hansen, who launched the Grumpy's Tackle Empire in Seaside, passed away this week. 20 years, over 20 years, Grumpy's has been around, almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years in 2026. I actually first met Tom in the early 2000s. I believe it was like 2003. Before the tackle shop. Tom was wholesaling Power Pro at the time. He and somebody else had asked me, it might have been Ponytail Mike, he had asked me over to his tackle garage in Tom's River. He wanted to show me some of the things he was working on. And I remember at the time he was showing me the old hamburger rod racks, and he was trying to take the hamburger racks and create something different. It was sort of like an angular rod rack for the flatbed of for the bed of your truck, which is now kind of standard operating now, but I remember that angular model was something that Tom had wanted to do. Then he launched, he launched Grumpy's in a sense in 2002, but that shop itself wouldn't open until 2006. It took over the location of the old Grog Surf Palace in Seaside Park. My condolences this week to Ray, Bob, Frankie Z, Jenni, Scotty, and the rest of the Grumpy's team, and to the Hansen family, of course. I would tell you that Grumpy was a veneer, an image, a brand. It was part of Tom's act. Honestly, it was a scam because Tom, as much as he showed this grumpiness, he was a softy at heart. Had a Santa Claus style sparkle in his eye, a caringness in his soul, and he was always willing to stop and help out folks. He did so much for the St. Jude's kids, and just numerous kids who stopped into Grumpy's over the years to try to get geared up. Tom was always really nice to them. The loss of Tom Grumpy Hansen leaves a hole in the hearts of many this week, certainly mine as well. May God bless you and keep you in the palm of his hand, my friend. Fair winds, you are already missed. Folks, this Labor Day weekend, this holiday weekend is not like the first one that starts the summer. Memorial Day is a time for solemn remembrance and memorial. Labor Day is to celebrate, take a day off. So let's do that. And that said, I will be toasting loved ones this weekend. At some point, I'm going to say a toast for all the ones that we've lost and try to celebrate a little bit, looking ahead to all that we have to gain this fall during this transition time. Sláinte. And come on, striped bass, come on down the coast. It's time that the migratory run hits us hard. That's it. Have a great Labor Day weekend. God bless, and I will see you out there.